Florida, not just in Dade County, but elsewhere. Former Vice President Joe Biden, the margin that
Okay.
he has in Miami-Dade County right now is only a third of what
Okay.
Hillary Rodham Clinton's
Hi,
victory margin
folks.
was
If
in
you're about,
2016. And the
we just thought we would pop on very briefly to just before some real commentary starts. We just thought we would sort
We
of
would come on to ramble about.
commiserate with you all.
Yes, yes. While
And
hanging out in space.
yeah, so Dee Dee's just going to play a little bit of this, and if you feel like joining, I might actually send a little note out to a few people that that we're live, and so there's a few things we're watching at the moment for the U.S. elections, and I'm watching. One is Carl Kalinske on Joe Rogan. There's not much happening there. There's the Breakthrough News, might have Abby Martin on soon. There's Cornel West and Trisha Rose on the tightrope. There's Katie Halper on her own channel. Let's see who else is there. There's a few people, and but really not a whole lot is happening. So feel free to pop in and say hi. And I was reading something from Abby Martin just recently. She said, what did she say? She said something in response to Rani Khalek's, and Rani Khalek posted something on Twitter, and it was, let's see if I can find it.
It's one of those wonderful responses.
Yes, here it is.
How horrible the situation is.
Rania Khalek, she said, I've never had this much, and Rania Khalek is a leftist journalist for on the Soapbox.
She's one of
so
our
if you're
favorites.
not following Rania, she's good value.
Definitely
so
worth
it's
it.
at Rania, Rania Khalek, and on Twitter, and she said, I've never had this much election anxiety. It's outrageous that Trump still has a chance to win, despite being behind in polls. The fact that he has no chance of winning the popular vote but can still win the Electoral College shows we don't live in a democracy. What an illusion. And Abby Martin, who's also a journalist, host of the Empire Files, said, full of dread, people need to revolt against this dying system. It's a joke that this country has the audacity to lecture anyone about democracy. So anyway, that's so true, and neither of those people, by the way, are and I mentioned neither of those people, by the way, are partisan. They reject the duopoly. So anyway, and there was also election night with Jordan Chariton live from Pennsylvania, and Jordan Chariton is a very good commentator. So there's that. So there's a number of things one can watch that where you won't get completely silly commentary that's sort of all partisan and stuff. Oh, hi,
Or
Holly.
stuff from
So,
AP.
hi.
The thing that bothers me is the stuff from AP, which kind of is okay. This lot we haven't finished counting anything.
Yeah.
None of the votes are in, but this is what it is. This person is going to win. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, come on, guys. That's
yeah.
your prediction. That's not the facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And until you actually get some votes, none of it is a fact. Now, it may be a high probability, but, God, you really have to deal with reality somewhere or other.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's way early for that, and I'm just trying to send out this little email to a few people. Let's see. Anyway, so Dee Dee and I I just, I just try not to, I just prepare for the worst. And I mean, of course, they're both terrible, but I just feel like,
Well,
we live in a bizarre universe where
yeah.
whatever can go wrong is going to go wrong. And, I'd prefer to have somebody that's not a straight out sort of fascist in office. If I had to choose between, those two poisons, I'd probably prefer that, because at least
They
you'll
won't
never
be
push.
rounding up our friends.
Yeah, you'll never be able to push Joe Biden from the left. That won't happen. But you can certainly grassroots organize and try and address this
The
sort of
most
cluster F of a
One of the
cluster F
most
of a.
discouraging things about it is that if Joe Biden loses, the Democrats will say, well, it's because people are conservative and we have to be more conservative. If Joe Biden wins, they'll say it's because of our strategy of putting the most conservative Democrat you can imagine and completely abandoning the left.
Yeah.
And so we should get more conservative. And the
Yes.
answer is going to be we should get more conservative no matter who bloody wins.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And this is
Oh, sorry.
the,
Say that again, Didi. What was that
I
last
said
bit?
I said the answer is we get more conservative no matter who wins.
Yeah.
Because if Trump wins, the Democrats will say we weren't conservative enough.
Oh, yes.
If Biden wins, they'll say our strategy of abandoning the left and putting in the most conservative Democrat we can find,
Yeah.
and abandoning the environment
Yes.
and promoting war, that's going to succeed.
Yeah.
So we'll do more of that.
Yeah. It's
You
a
know,
good excuse
and
to.
and it's like heads you win, tails you lose,
Yeah. Yeah.
or rather, heads I win, tails you lose.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's one of those things
Yeah.
where there's no good outcome that can conceivably occur,
Yeah.
and that just is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I can't remember who else wanted to be notified. There was Jennifer and Ginny and Countdown. So Breakthrough News is live now, and that is it's Breakthrough News, and that's supposed to have Abby Martin on at about 1 o'clock in a couple of minutes. So that's 1 o'clock our time, Tasmania time. So that's something to tune into. And we're not going to be on very long because we don't want to interfere with any sort of commentary and stuff, since we're not commentators and we're not journalists, etc. But yeah, either way we lose. That's true, Holly. Yeah, and McConnell won in Kentucky. Why do they? What on earth is it about? Florida looks like a Trump victory. So let's see.
Yes, I understand they're not doing that well in Texas either.
Who? Biden?
Yeah,
Right.
that there's a bit of an upset with. Hang on, what am I doing?
And so Tim Heidecker also has a commentary, and I don't know. That's anyway. So anyhow, so how are you feeling, Holly? Probably feeling like we do, which is kind of, I mean, there's nothing really to look forward to. There's only things to
No.
dread, basically. And it's just sad. It's really, I mean, it's just so crazy that, all the U.S. is always pointing the finger at all these different other countries, Venezuela. Oh, your elections are, corrupt and they're fraudulent and all this, and yet this is probably, I'd say, would be the most fraudulent on
Yeah.
so many levels election. I mean, literally, there's a list as long as one's arm of the things that they do to try and suppress the vote, to try and to steal it away, and they have it mapped out. There's plan A to Z of how to steal the election, basically, right up to the Supreme Court now with Amy Coney Barrett I mean, if it's not an outright win for Trump saying this thing, he can just go to the Supreme Court, and he's got it. He even bragged about it, that it's sewn up, like with Amy
Yeah.
Coney Barrett.
Yeah.
So it's
So it's just disgusting.
it's disgusting, and
And if he's ahead a little bit, he's going to claim he's won.
of course, yeah,
And if he isn't ahead, he's going to claim that there was fraud.
yeah,
And
yeah, and then
if he still can't get ahead, he'll take it to the courts.
that's right. So it's sewn up on many levels.
Unless there's like a massive move towards Biden, he will claim that he won, or he will try and somehow subvert the election.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It has to be an absolute outright.
It has to be an absolute outright win, or
Can you give
or
him
else
something, Dee Dee?
it's just going to be trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And
but
there's just nothing really to look forward to at all, because it's like we have the worst dregs of, we've got just, there's no democracy in the US really. It's just an oligarchic duopoly and run by corporations. And so anything that was
Okay.
and if the corporate
and I'm
Democrats,
going to go feed cats.
yeah, if the corporate Democrats wanted to win, they wouldn't have sabotaged Bernie Sanders twice, and Bernie Sanders let them. So yeah, I might just check these audio levels and see if
My video, my thing was off. I
Oh,
think I
no.
just turned it off to go to the cats.
okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
They
so
wouldn't have put in somebody with cognitive problem
yeah,
who's an absolute anathema to the left.
yeah. I should probably put the link for this. This is the one where Abby Martin will be doing commentary. I think that's Breakthrough News.
That'll be nice.
Breakthrough News, and then there's let's see, there's Status Quo. Status Quo is in Pennsylvania.
Oops.
Pennsylvania. Is that how you spell that? I always have a trouble with Pennsylvania. Oh, so you've been watching Star Trek. That's nice, Holly. I
That's a
was
good thing
thinking
to
of
do.
just curling up in a ball.
I've been listening to the election results while running around in space. We went out earlier and got some food and
Yes, I made myself sick by having a couple of vegan donuts. This is the tightrope here with Cornell West. Of course, is they're not very hard on. They're little bit sort of not sort of hard on this issue. Although Cornell West can be, of course, but sometimes they're a little bit too kind to the Democratic Party in some ways. But anyhow, that's sort of Cornell West is always good value, and I think he's great. I've got the Breakthrough News. There was this election night with Tim and Vic and many special guests. I think Abby Martin was going to be on that one too. Let's see. I can't find out. But, there you go. the screen. Oh, that's very pretty, isn't it?
That's
That.
yes, that's the galaxy map.
Yeah.
I'm doing a hyper warp jump.
So this is election. I'll just post this in with Vic. I think that's Vic Berger and somebody else, and Tim Heidecker. And possibly Abby Martin. And Gloria LaRiva said, no matter who wins tonight, we need to keep building a movement for socialism in the streets, workplaces, and classrooms. Democracy requires a whole new system. That's for sure.
One of the things
The
that
wonderful Gloria LaRiva.
I noticed, somebody was talking about the difficulty with people getting together, and that, you know, if you talk about this or that, you know, they're going to spy on you and collect information and be after you eventually. And part of the thing that I see is that this is like a classic maneuver to create fear that will chill any kind of ability to speak out. And the other one is the idea that every group is going to be penetrated by agents and that kind of stuff. And that there will be agents provocateurs in every group and that kind of stuff. And that's a classic way to stop people from organizing in any way, shape, or form. And really, people need to just say, stuff that, organize in real time with people they actually know. Do something like the clamshell alliance technique that was the anti-war movement thing in the 60s and 70s, which is where you have separate small little groups of people who know, and there's a little bit of coordination, but each of them is relatively independent, you know. So even if people get information from someplace.
I think you're very low, Dee Dee. I'm just listening. Hang on a sec. Let me see. I just want to. Oh no, you're okay. I was just looking at the levels, the audio levels. You're pretty good. Anyway, that we were talking about that before, about the learned helplessness, basically. When basically you have, it's no wonder there's 100 million people who don't vote, because it just becomes more and more sad as time goes by. Like, look at the selection. So anyway, where are you in space at the moment, Dee Dee? Here.
Okay. I'm in space. I've just warped to a new solar system. It's a Kovacs, which are the people who are a bit like the Borg. They're cyber organic beings. Who have the convergence, which means all of their minds can connect, but they're, unlike the Borg, they're mostly interested in exploring. And so they tend to be the big exploration race. Now I'm going to find the space station and go off to that.
Oh, hold on a sec. Mike Preisner just tweeted something. So Mike Preisner, who's the host of the Empire Files, said, live now, Breakthrough is joined with Abby Martin, Jill Stein, Gloria LaRiva, Jodie Dean, Rania Kalik, and Jared Ball to discuss what happens next and what the results mean for the people's movement. So that sounds pretty good.
That sounds great.
We'll probably get off soon and sort of, or maybe we'll watch a little bit of that, and let's see. Okay, let me find that link, and I think I've already posted that link. Let's see. Have I? Yeah, I think I might have posted that link already.
That's a fancy-looking fighter.
What?
That's a fancy-looking spaceship.
Here we go. I think that's it. Breakthrough News, yeah. Okay, so let me post the link to that. There we go. So anyway, so I posted a link to that breakthrough news that I've just mentioned. So that should be a really good commentary.
Okay, well
And
that sounds fabulous. I mean, those people are just
yeah,
really wonderful.
yeah. Oh, that looks like Eugene Perrier. I think
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce his name. Anyway, so there was something else. Oh yeah, and you can always also look at Joe Rogan's commentary too. Did I post status quo? I think I did. Anyhow, we might come on later. I'm not sure when it gets a bit more consolidated and we sort of see what unfortunate person ends up getting ahead, and we'll just hang out here for another few minutes. Hey, Dee Dee, and then
Yeah.
we'll wind it up.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think so.
So we've only been on for like 20 minutes and stuff.
I'm just watching the spaceships come in.
Yeah.
This is probably a good place to get maybe a new spaceship.
Yeah, it is. So anyway,
That's a very specky looking
oh,
spaceship.
okay, and Holly's watching Graham Elwood and Ron Placone.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I've been watching PBS and
oh, okay.
And Real Clear Politics just for the
Oh,
stats.
yeah, Real Clear Politics is kind of
Well,
very,
the thing is that they give like an actual table that says how many electoral votes with you win with each state and where the vote count is up to. And I mean, I wouldn't pay much attention to their editorial stuff, but their actual stats aren't
Yeah.
too bad.
yeah. So anyway, so they look like they're giving good commentary on Breakthrough News, so that's great.
Yeah.
I wasn't even aware of Breakthrough News until just recently.
Yeah,
I'd
you
never
just
even
told
heard
me
of it.
about that.
Had you? Had you heard of
No,
them?
no, not until you told me about it.
No. Isn't it funny how something can be existing? Like, they don't have many subscribers too, which is weird because from what I've seen, it's quite good. But it's they've only got like almost 3,000 subscribers, and yet it seems like a good. I wonder where they're sitting. They look like they're sitting in a mall somewhere.
I don't know. These days, the way people can green screen and put backgrounds up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yes, it looks kind of like both a mall and an election center with big screens all over the place.
anyhow, so if when I see Abby come on, we might sort of wind it up.
Well, absolutely, because we're going to want to watch Abby,
Yeah,
not fiddle around
and
here. As much as I like fiddling around here.
anyway, we might wind it up, Dee Dee, and so we have good thoughts for all U.S. citizens during this
Yes.
election because
'Cause you poor
and for,
buggers.
of course, more importantly, for the rest of the
Yes.
4 years, that there is a lot of organizing to help end this dreadful empire, really, that is a scourge, basically,
Yeah.
not only to the rest of the world, but to its own citizens, even the ones that think that it isn't. It is. Like the majority that do not have much in the way of that are poor or that are struggling. It doesn't matter which one of these oligarchs you prefer to win. They don't have your best interests
No.
at heart
No.
at all whatsoever.
I mean,
And
you have an open
so
fascist
yeah,
and somebody who is the most, who's basically a Republican, a fairly
Yeah.
conservative Republican.
Yeah, and he's got very
Who's a
similar.
warmonger,
Yeah.
and who has openly stated he's not in favor of the environment.
Yeah.
Quite happy to continue exploiting and
Yeah,
producing gas and building pipelines around the place.
Yeah, and he won't
Yay,
give Medicare
you
for
know.
all, even in a pandemic. He'll probably continue on all the awful foreign policies that
Yeah.
have been a seamless thread throughout all these different
Yeah.
uh,
And,
administrations. It doesn't matter who's in office.
go for the wars and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff.
So Latin America will be in dire straits. Biden might rejoin the Iran nuclear deal, which would be great. But that's there's very very little difference with Biden and Trump in their foreign policies and stuff. And they both are corporate owned, and that's how it is. But anyway, so let's wrap it up, Dee Dee, and
Okay.
and I hope that whoever's watching this, check out our live chat, and you'll see some various links. And I would go for the Breakthrough News, which has Gloria Lariva, Abby Martin, Jody Dean, Rani Kalik, Jill Stein, and they're all really excellent. I'm not familiar with Jody Dean, but the others are very good commentators, so that should be an interesting one to follow. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. We might come back later on, although there's probably not much point, because there's really not much to sort of there's nothing to get excited about.
Really, we're just going to watch and see how it
just
plays out.
I'll be curled up in a ball somewhere.
We expect that unless there's a massive win for Biden, if Trump doesn't clearly win, he will claim that it's election fraud.
Yeah.
If he will try and do everything he can to get votes thrown out.
Yeah.
If all else fails, he'll go to the courts that he's stacked.
Yeah.
And it'll just be a mess.
Yeah, and the Electoral College is just a joke, really. But I wanted to
it's the most ridiculous system.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, look, this.
I wanted to take this opportunity too to say thank you, to welcome all the new subscribers. There's been probably a couple of hundred in the last week or so, or maybe not that much, maybe close to that, maybe, who've joined, and welcome. And I hope that you find the topics covered on this channel interesting, and that you also, if you're not following those various leftist journalists I mention frequently, that you consider joining them. And also, if you have every 6 videos that I do is usually about a straight up vegan video, and I hope that you will stick with it. And if you're not interested in veganism, then just keep just keep with the channel, and just
and
don't have a knee jerk.
That's not about veganism.
Don't have a knee jerk reaction about it. Just kind of sort of try and not sort of think, okay, well, this has nothing to do with imperialism.
It's not a single issue channel.
Yeah, this has nothing to do, just don't think that it doesn't have anything to do with anti-imperialism and anti-war and all the other discriminations that hopefully we're against. It does have, they're not under the umbrella of veganism, but they are definitely connected, and that's what I try to demonstrate on a regular basis. And every so often, one out of every 6 will be a straight up vegan video. So I hope that will be something that you will check out and not kind of dismiss out of hand. And hi Ginny, hi. We're just about to go so that we can just let the people who actually can give good commentary, that they will leave them to it. We just came on to sort of kind of commiserate and sort of and send out good thoughts to our friends in the US and everybody in the US basically, and all around the world, of course, who are watching this because it affects
Unfortunately, it's the
everybody.
election of the emperor, and
Yeah.
empire affects
Yeah.
us all.
Yeah, that's right. It affects the whole world, and this outcome and these outcomes, and of course, you know, as we've said, it's just a seamless thread of military adventurism and meddling in other countries in the world, no matter who's in office, and sadly, so that's how it is. Anyway, but so have a good evening, day, and it's nice to see you, Ginny, and anybody else who
Yes.
has popped in. And we may come on later on,
It's
like
kind of
in
midday
about
here.
8 hours or something, but we may not. And but we're having good wishes for everybody. So you might want to wrap it up, Dee Dee.
Okay.
Okay. So thanks for dropping by, and
Okay.
hope you're having a good day, Ginny. And thanks for dropping by, Holly, and anybody else who's watching at the present time. Much love to you all, and may there be peace on earth, and may this awful empire fall. Is all I can say.
Yeah. So whenever you say, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.